Today, we'll be showing you how to remove and replace your moisture sensor on this LG electric dryer. Be sure to visit ApplianceVideo.com, where you will find thousands of repair videos on the latest technology. And for a limited time, you can save big on an annual membership and take advantage of all of our premium benefits. ApplianceVideo.com. Do it right the first time. Stop. Before beginning any repair, always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for the proper voltage. You will need the following tools to complete this repair. To access the machine, we must first remove the top panel. It's held on by 3 Phillips screws on the bottom lip here. Once you have these taken off, grab the little front slider and pull it in. Start to wiggle the top off and set it to the side. Now that we have the top panel removed, in order to go further in this dryer, we will have to remove the front here. Now, in order to do so, there's a couple screws that will have to be removed. There are 2 Phillips machine thread screws on the bottom. There are 2 at the top. Now, normally these are covered with this sticker. You'll have to use something, pop it off, and just kind of set it below. Remove the 2 Phillips screws. We'll go ahead and close the door. When removing the ones at the top, it is held on by these little clips here, but make sure you put your leg or something against the front when you're removing the 2 top screws. Now, next, to pull the front forward, it is clipped in. Use a tack puller or a flat blade screwdriver, go below, press up, and let it drop down. Inside, we have a door switch. Remove this Molex, followed by a Molex for your UI. Use something to press in on the locking tab, separate it, lift up on the front, and set it to the side. Next, we'll have to remove the top bracket here. The first thing you'll want to do is push this Molex back inside. You can do that by pressing on the tabs that are on the top and the bottom with a small screwdriver and pushing it in. Next, we have 2 Phillips screws on the front. It is held on the front. It's got kind of like a slotted area with a hook on the sides, so you have to lift up and pull out, slide it down, and set it to the side. Now that we have the top bracket removed, the next thing we'll need to remove is the bulkhead. To start, you will have to remove any strain relievers. This one right here is broken. On this one here, we're going to go to the back side, pinch it with some pliers, and pull it out. Separate our Molex for our LED lamp, and just bring the wiring over to the side. We do have 4 Phillips screws that will have to be removed. Followed by your Molex on the bottom. You'll just pinch and separate. Lift up on your front bulkhead and start to pull out. Same on this side. Lift up, pull out, wiggle it free, and set your bulkhead to the side. Now that we have the bulkhead removed, we have placed it on a protected surface. At this point, we can start to take this apart and access our moisture sensor. Now to do so, first we are going to have it where the wheels are facing down, and there are 2 Phillips screws that are on here that will need to be removed. Next, you go ahead and flip it over. Be careful, these edges are very sharp. Now on this side, there's a few things that we'll need to do. Inside of these holes here, there are 2 Phillips screws. You have a black Phillips screw right here, as well as a strain reliever right here. All of these will either have to be removed or pushed through on the strain reliever. So we'll start, take out our lint screen and set it to the side. Let's take out the 2 screws on the top. There's the first one, followed by the second one. We'll go ahead and take off this black one. And now use a pair of pliers to go ahead and pinch your strain reliever. Now, right now, you can start to separate the actual housing here. Keep separating it. We can go ahead and pull it through. And as you can see here, we are at the actual moisture sensors themselves. Now, at this point, I would do a good visual inspection, make sure your wiring isn't damaged. A lot of the times, the reason why you'd be replacing this is if clothing has gotten stuck on here and caused one of these to rip off. Generally speaking, it's cosmetic. So to remove it, first, we'll take off our wiring. The next part is actually inside. Inside of the housing here, there is a little tab that's on the moisture sensor. So pick one of them. You use your pliers and kind of bend it and push in. Once you push it in, you'll start to see separation. Go ahead and start to feed it out. Pop it out. Do the same on the other side and set your moisture sensor to the side. When installing your new moisture sensor first, you'll notice there is a larger side. This is the side where your terminal goes on. So you will enter this side first. It will go in and kind of go at an angle here. Line up the bottom and push it in place. It should pop right in. The next thing we'll do is reinstall our wiring harness. Now we are going to feed the wiring harness down and start to install this portion first. Now when we get that lined up, you will want to install your 2 screws that were inside the slotted areas. Next, we are actually going to flip it over first to put it back together. We will flip over your shield here, and the reason why is it's kind of hard to line this up, so you'll start to slide it in, slide it all the way up. These 2 screws, these 2 screw holes, they should line up. We'll push in our strain reliever, reinstall the 2 screws for the blower housing here. Last but not least, we're going to flip it over again. Now this one should be lined up, and of course it was a black screw. Reinstall this. Slide back in our lint screen. Now we can reinstall the bulkhead. When reinstalling your front bulkhead, We'll bring it in. First, the lip of it will fit on the front of the drum. You may have to move it around. And what I want you to do is to bring this up and slide your 2 top pieces in first. Once you get these in, give the drum a spin. This will cause the bulkhead to draw in on the rollers. You will have to lift up again on each side to get the other portions of the bracket in. We're in. Next, go around and reinstall your Phillips screws. Plug back in our harness on the bottom. Bring around and reinstall your strain relievers and reinstall the Molex for your LED. Now we can reinstall the top bracket. When reinstalling your top plate, first we will push the door lock harness through the smaller slotted area. Bring it into place. Make sure your hook goes into the slot on the frame and slide down. Do the same on the opposite side. Reinstall our 2 Phillips screws. We will push back in the Molex. The side of the Molex, one side is larger, so it can only go in one way. Push in, hear the click. Now we can reinstall the front. When reinstalling the front, there are 2 lips on the very bottom that you will slide the front on. Once you get it in place, reinstall your door switch wiring, followed by your front wiring. Bring it in and clip it in. We will reinstall the 2 screws on the top. Now on the front, if you remember correctly, we have 2 regular Phillips on the front top. Followed by the 2 machine screws on the bottom. Close the door, and now we can reinstall the top. When reinstalling your top, I always like to put my hand on the slider because the bottom is really sharp. We'll drop it in and line it up. It can only fit on one way. Grab the front and the back and make sure you apply pressure so that it is slipped in. There we go. Now we will reinstall the 3 screws on the back. And this will complete your repair. Thank you for watching another quality video from ApplianceVideo.com. If you found this video helpful, make sure you click the like and subscribe to our channel.